It's on video? Okay, hey, so the next thing, and you guys need to watch this lesson, so if you're done with that first part. So hey, the last one that we did, and you have to have this done first, is we did the robot maze where we had a robot navigate through this maze. Whoops. So the second thing we're gonna do is gonna involve, the next one is gonna involve a tape measure. I've got a box of those over here, or just ask me and I'll grab you one. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did with this type of maze, except you are going to invent your own maze around the classroom. And basically, you're going to open up your code that worked for this, or the other stuff, and you're going to modify it. I don't want you to start over with the new code. We've already figured out what a 90-degree turn was going to look like in our previous lesson. So you're going to open up that, make a copy of it, and save it as a new file for the Lego floor maze. And here's what we're going to do. Your maze has to have at least, just like this one, it's going to have 4 turns. So let me show you an example. So what you're going to do is you can do it any way you want, however you want to around the room. My recommendation is that you do the shortest path possible. Because what happens is these Lego robots, as they're supposed to drive straight, if it's just a small distance, it usually works just fine. But if it doesn't go perfectly straight, what will happen is the Lego it'll start to turn, and it will make it very, very difficult for you to finish the project successfully. So like I would avoid doing long straightaways that are all the way across the room, or even maybe halfway across the room if you can avoid them, okay? So like let's go and let's take an example, and I'll show you an example with the Lego robot and this thing. Now what is this? This is a tape measure. And in our previous assignment, I told you that all of them in the PVC pipe maze were 17 inches. Since we're now making our own course up, the turns are still going to be 90 degrees, but you have to measure how long you need your robot to go. So basically, you take your old code that worked for the maze and you just modify it. You're going to still use the same 90-degree left and right turns at 100% or negative 100%, but you're going to change it using the inches. Now, first of all, some of these tape measures have centimeters and inches. The inches are going to be the longer one, the centimeters are going to be the smaller ones. Use the inches for this. You could use centimeters, but you'd have to modify your code even more. I'd suggest using inches if you want to do that. So what we're going to do, like for example, let me show you an example of a course that you could do. So hey, follow me on this one. So I put my robot down right here, and I'm just going to pretend I'm the robot. This would be a good course to do. Forward, first turn, turn right, forward, and then the second turn. Remember, you have to have 4 turns. Forward, third turn, right, forward, the last turn, left. That's 4 turns, and then we go forward, and you go, hey, woodchick, I'm done. And before I grade you, I want to see your code. You're going to tell me with words what your course looks like before I see it. And then you put your robot on the floor and you show me it's done. And you show me that it works. Hey, let me give you some advice. Follow me on this one. First of all, don't run your robot and start your robot right next to the walls. When you start it, when you start measuring these distances with the tape measure, I highly recommend that you keep in the middle of this thing with the most space possible. And when you do your turn, have it go a little bit extra so that if it's not perfect, it's not going to run into one of the walls or something. And then you have it go. So make sure you leave yourself a lot of error, a room for errors, okay? If your robot naturally deviates, you can slightly adjust it by turning it before you play your code. All right, hey, thanks. You can stop that now.